my name is Lydia Melka. I'm the new ArtsBridge intern, and we are starting a Q&A series with our masterclass teachers that we have. And we have Hannah Jewel Kohn here today, and we are so excited to find out more about how she got where she is and everything else. So do you want to give a little intro for yourself too?
Yeah, so my name is Hannah Jewel Kohn, and I, before the pandemic, was currently touring with the first national tour of Frozen, the musical.
That's
So I'm
nice.
so happy to be here teaching, and I'm really looking forward to our class later.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. Okay. So how'd you get your start in theater? Was it just something that ran in your family, or you had to find on your own?
Well, so it pretty much ran in my family. So my great grandma, she was in vaudeville growing up. And my mom she dabbled in tap dancing for a little bit. So it's kind of just in my blood. And yeah, I started dancing when I was 3 years old, but I wanted to be in my school musical, and I auditioned, and I ended up landing the role of Annie, and that was my start. That I said, yeah, I kind of want to do this when I grow up.
So you mentioned that you were homeschooled in the latter half of high school to focus on dance. So where were you going before, and what made you decide to make that homeschool switch?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Michigan.
Nice.
And yeah, so I grew up at a dance studio, and they offered a homeschool program so that we could continue our training during the day while others were at school.
Yeah.
And I realized as I was in middle school and high school that I was not having enough time.
Yeah.
Coming home from dance exhausted. I mean, like, you know, I was coming home from dance, and then I had to do my homework. And then I had to pick up, go to school, go to dance, homework. It was too much.
Right.
So I jumped over into the homeschool program, and I ended up being able to dance for 9 hours a day, and we offered singing and acting. So I had everything I needed to graduate, to move to New York and chase my dreams. So that was just the best option for me. It's not for everyone. I certainly loved it. I loved it. I think it was the best move I could have ever made, and I'm so grateful that I did it.
What's the name of your studio?
Dance Dynamics Performing Arts Center.
Cool.
All of Michigan.
Are you still friends with anyone that you danced with there?
Yeah, a lot of people I'm friends with, and a lot of people are in the Broadway community. We have a lot of alumni as well as myself.
So were you all just Broadway styles, or were you also doing ballet? Well, I guess all dance is Broadway styles. It's so broad.
Yes, we were doing everything though, from point work to acro to modern to contemporary to lyrical to partnering to tap to hip hop. We did everything. Ballroom. I've learned ballroom dancing. So
awesome.
Yeah, they really offer every style. It's amazing.
So did y'all put on musicals, or did you do just dance shows?
So we did a lot of dance community shows, but we also were able to audition to be in another high school's musical. So they did Christmas Carol, and I was a part of that. And we did Hairspray, I was a part of that, and Phantom of the Opera, and I got to be in that. So we definitely got to dabble in that area, which was amazing.
Yeah, this sounds like the dream.
Yeah,
best of both worlds.
Exactly.
Do you have a favorite show or role that you did in your middle school, high school career?
I think probably the Ghost of Christmas Past and Christmas Carol, because we made it very intricate. I was in point shoes, and I was flying. It was just like, it was very cool for me when I was that age. I thought it was just incredible. I'm like, this is so fun.
Yeah, it's your shining moment. That sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty remarkable for sure.
So for anyone who is in this kind of high school theater sphere, but feels like they're kind of getting started too late, which was something that I jumped into theater pretty only seriously my junior year of high school. And so I was kind of just flying by the seat of my pants, didn't know what I was doing, and just trying to learn super fast. So for anyone who is interested in doing this professionally, but is only getting a start in high school or even later, do you have any advice?
Yeah, I think it's never too late to start. Never, 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 never. And I think the best thing to do when you're ready is to keep training and networking and making connections, because it's all about making connections and networking. It's like, I'm ready to cast a show. I know this girl. Oh, she's friends with this girl who said this girl is really good. She would be good for this guy that she knows, right? That's how it works for the most part. And I think, you know, if you plan to move to the Big Apple and you want to make this a career, be a student. I always say I'm continuing to be a student because I never believed that I should ever leave being a student in my career, in my lifetime. I always want to keep learning. And so I don't think it's ever too late, because everybody's going to keep learning and everybody's going to continue in this career at square one in different areas. So I think you should definitely, if it's something you're really passionate about, like, go for it and go for it full force and find little ways to keep training. Like, you can go to like Actors Connection and take acting classes, or there's so many teachers, there's so many Facebook, social media. We're so lucky now. There's a billion ways to get started in here.
Right.
And dance classes are available, and a lot of people work on fun workshops, and there's just so many things. So I don't ever believe that it's too late to start.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's really good. Especially nowadays, just with everything on the internet alone, YouTube University, you can learn anything.
YouTube, yeah, and Zoom University now. So I truly wholeheartedly believe that.
So after high school, did you decide to join a college program or conservatory, or did you just start performing right away?
So I was visiting a couple of college campuses, and I was going to end up at Pace University in New York.
Nice.
And I actually opted out like a couple months before. I actually went to the campus, I saw everything, and I am really spiritual. I'm really big on energy, and I just felt like the energy wasn't right there for me. And it wasn't school. It was my own personal energy. I just didn't feel like I was meant to go there. And I said, I'm giving myself like 2 or 3 months to be in New York and audition. And if I can book a job, great. And if I can't, then I will go back to school. And ended up booking work. And I've been really fortunate and blessed to be able to work since then. And I truly believe that you don't have to go to school. And I've gotten so much training, and I've learned so much about myself, about this career, and I've networked. And I also think because I had a mentor, his name was Ryan Steele. So he's done a lot of work. He went to my dance studio. He also did the homeschooling program, and he didn't go to college. And then I had another friend who went to our school who didn't go to college either, who was making it in the Broadway community. And I was like, this works.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to school. And there's a lot of people who love school and who want to go to school. And that's their own personal journey. I was staying in my own like radar and my own vision for myself, and that just was not in the path. Yeah. So I just continued to New York, and I auditioned, and I've been working ever since, and I'm very, very, very lucky.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that's a huge lesson, just life lesson, to learn to trust your gut in that way.
Totally.
Definitely. So, well, this question was kind of just in general, like you were talking about how important it is to network and get to know people, and you did that through your auditions and landing these roles. But do you have any extra advice of how to kind of get your foot in the door, meeting people, kind of how do you get to know the people you need to know?
You take a lot of classes.
Yeah.
That is my personal, sorry, one second. Oh, there we go. That's what I believe. That has been my key to networking, making connections. It's taking class. Because when you take class, you meet new teachers, and you meet people. And in that waiting time before class starts, that 10-minute period that you're sitting there, you could overhear someone say, hey, I'm going to this audition tomorrow, or hey, I'm going to this dance class. And then you're like, oh, wait, I'm so curious. I would love to take, that sounds so much fun. What is that? That's how I always found all classes. That's how I always overheard about like agent appointments that I wasn't invited to because I didn't have an agent at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would go to calls and I would overhear things and I would be like, I'm so sorry to be nosy, but like, what is that call tomorrow? It sounds so exciting. I want to be a part of that. Or what's that class that acting class you're taking? It sounds really rewarding. What is that? Where did you take it? That's where you meet people. It's like when you're in the area, when you're in that like community, you overhear things and it's good things. Like it's good to be there. You're not like being like nosy in a bad way. Like it's good. People like to share. And that's how I did a lot of my networking. I would just take classes and I would go online and just type in like acting classes or working through songs, acting through songs, monologue coaching, voiceovers. I would do all that stuff and I would go and I would see like top 5, look up reviews, talk to a couple of friends, and you know, I met a lot of people. I have a lot of friends from different areas because I've done so many different like voiceovers. Like I took a voiceover class. Like I would never, you know what I mean? Like I would never take that, but I just thought it would be fun to have. And I met a lot of people. And yeah, I think it's really fun to just explore new areas.
So kind of just eyes open, ears open, take every opportunity that you hear about.
Totally.
Yeah. That's awesome. And transitioning to your time on Broadway, one question that someone had on Instagram was, how did you handle the stress and the schedule? It sounds like you were pretty heavy duty performing anyways, growing up, but was it a kind of a adjustment at first?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was on tour with Frozen. Mm-hmm. So we have 8 shows a week, but we also have to travel.
Right.
We had and we will have a great schedule. Mm-hmm. It is like a princess schedule. It is so nice. Because I've been on a tour before where we were in like one-nighters, 1 week sit downs, and this one is like we were in LA for like 3 months. Yeah. So it's amazing. But I just think for me personally, and I know a lot of my cast members and colleagues could agree with this, is like taking care of your body is crucial. Feeding it, nourishing it, hydrating it, stretching your body before you do your show, like doing a really good warm up, like fully warm up the whole body. And we have a physical therapist who travels with us on tour. Yeah, and I always make sure, even if I'm not hurt, I still make sure that I go to her. She's incredible because I want to maintain my body. I don't want to just go to my physical therapist when something's wrong. Right. I want to make sure that I'm still like, my body's in alignment. I feel solid and good. I'm gonna do my show. It's like you don't go to the chiropractor like every time you can't move your neck. You go like once every week to make sure everything's good in there, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I try to do with a physical therapist. And yeah, I think it's just taking care of your body, getting enough rest. Although you know it's a 2.5 hour show or 3 hour show, it is very tedious and triggering for the body. It is. Right. I mean, these shows you are going full out. And when you're not on stage, you're quick changing. You don't really sit much during the show. I mean, for me personally, like we're the ensemble and all of us we're pretty much on stage the whole time. So it's all about resting and taking it easy when you can and continuously training. Even on tour, I take my ballet classes. I take all my dance classes because I have to keep my technique up. I can't be like sitting back comfortable because then that's where you get hurt. It's like you have to keep continuing to train, take all the ballet, take the workout classes, the Pilates, the yoga, strengthen all your muscles, especially with our heavy costumes. They're like 10 pounds and we're dancing.
Yeah, I was about to say Frozen is a costume spectacle.
Yeah, and our costumes, you know, these big ball gown dresses are heavy. I mean, I'm praising all the men who lift me because those dresses are heavy, you know? They do a fantastic job. I mean, they're all just crazy talented. But yeah, I think just working really hard to strengthen your body and hydrate it as much as you can, and eat well, sleep well, all the above. Mental, physical health is key. Yeah.
Did you have a favorite city that you stopped in when you were touring with Frozen?
I think, so we weren't on tour for too long. We were on tour for like 6 months. But I think my favorite, let's see, I think it was Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Because I love being by the water. I love the ocean. And on my day off, I would go to Malibu and I would go to the pier and just enjoy the ocean. I think it was just so beautiful. And we also, in LA, we had a huge fan following, which is so fun.
Yeah.
I really so much fan art at the door and just lots of goodies. And it was just so overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably my favorite city.
That's wonderful. So do you all have days to yourself, like outside of the shows and whatever, like I'm like checks for like tech or anything? Do you pretty much have the days to yourself to explore the city?
Yeah, so we have every Monday is our day off. And in between cities, we have about 2 to 3 days off from the travel time to our first performance, because our show has a lot of tech elements,
right?
Lots of huge sets, costumes galore. So our insanely amazing team is building that, putting it up and running, testing all the elements, all the magical elements, making sure everything's safe.
Yeah.
Which we so appreciate. Yes, they're always make us feel very, very, very safe. And so we'll have like 3 days to explore and get acclimated in each city. I think that's really important. Figure out where the grocery stores are, the dance classes, the gym, everything. Just like figure out where we are.
Did you have a favorite like moment or number in your track during Frozen?
Oh. I mean, one of my favorite parts is for the first time forever when we're running through the gates.
Yeah.
And then we go right behind, we do like this little pyramid behind Anna. And we do our like steps forward with our like chest lifted, and we're just so beautiful. Everybody is just like, I'm hearing all the ensemble members behind me. I'm hearing everybody in our cast just like belt for their life.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, we sound so good.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I mean, I could cry just thinking about it, because when we first did it in the rehearsal space, it was a moment I will truly remember forever. I will literally cherish that moment because it was so exciting. It was so terrific. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Like so special. It's funny from top to bottom. I got to go to New York this winter, which I'm so glad I went before all of this happened. It was like my 18th birthday. My parents will take me where I want. So I to New York and just saw a bunch of shows. It was a dream, and they're angels for that. But as I was watching, I don't know, I just wondered if like the way that I felt before my shows at like my high school in Snellville, Georgia, if everyone still feels that way, just the butterflies, hearing the crowd and those moments on stage with your friends. It's really special.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so special. And yeah, I mean, I dreamed of doing this my whole life. So I really don't take a moment for granted. I mean, even when I'm tired, I still remember the little girl who wanted to do this. Like, and she's made it. And that's always been my driving force, is like, I worked so hard and I'm here, and I cannot take any moment for granted, because it could be taken away in 1 second.
Yeah.
And just the pandemic hit, we did our last show and I didn't know it was our last show.
Yeah.
And so you just never know. But yes, I mean, the excitement backstage is infectious. And while we're like doing our na 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 hey na, it's just so exciting. We're all just like, yes, like it's just I don't think it will ever get old, because Frozen is, I mean, Disney in general, they have the most beautiful scores and lyrics. Just, I mean, everybody dreams of singing Disney songs. Like, seriously. and Frozen, the orchestra, yeah, no, I mean, it's butterflies every time. It's just like, oh my God, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it ever goes away.
That's good to hear. Well,
Yeah.
I think that is a beautiful note to end on. Thank you so much for answering everyone's questions. You were so wonderful, and the masterclass is going to be great today.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait.